Welcome, everyone, to a Delco Nerd Network Rewind review, where we sit down and talk about some of our favorite film franchises of the past, and even some of our favorite holiday specials of the past. For this series, we are sitting down to talk about all the Charlie Brown holiday specials. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Anthony the Gooch, Ragucci. Gooch, how's it going, man?
Chris Tria. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy. How you
Happy
doing?
Thanksgiving, man. Absolutely. It's definitely Thanksgiving Day, the day we are recording this. So it's very exciting. But yeah, here we are. We're here to talk.
It's definitely not.
I know. No, sure. Whatever.
This is coming up before
I'm
Thanksgiving.
not lying. Gooch, stop it. So today we are, of course, here to chat about a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, initially released November 20th of 1973 with a rating of TVG and a runtime of 25 minutes with a production budget of an estimated $150,000. I could not confirm that.
The last one was like less, right?
Yeah, last one was 75.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we doubled.
Yeah, so we doubled. But again, so this one, I gotta admit, it was a lot harder to find production info about for some reason. I don't know why.
Probably because it's the out of the three we're doing, Halloween and Christmas and Thanksgiving, it's probably the least popular.
I did see that too as well.
There are like Valentine's Day ones. There are other holiday ones.
Oh, absolutely. They're taking full advantage. Full advantage. They're their own calendar, man. But so we have the ratings. Unfortunately, I could not find any initial premiere ratings. So that's kind of sad. But the directors for this were Bill Melendez, who directed the initial one as well, and Phil Roman. Writers, of course, Charlie M. Schultz, and we'll hit you with a description here. Peppermint Patty invites herself and her friends over to Charlie Brown's for Thanksgiving. And with Linus, Snoopy, and Woodstock, he attempts to throw together a Thanksgiving dinner.
So, Trio, I know we talked about the Halloween one, of course, being in many people's household traditions for Halloween. Have you actually seen the Thanksgiving one?
I did not know this existed. I'm going to be honest. I had no reference to this one at all.
I would say, again, not a... actually, let me take that back. Kind of a staple in my house to watch all three of these.
Sure,
I think I might have said that in the first one. But I remember watching this one specifically a lot in school. Because it's, Thanksgiving week.
Right.
We're not doing shit.
No.
So, put on Charlie Brown.
Yeah, come on. Maybe Transformers, if you're in Clark's class. But no.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Clark.
Absolutely.
Marple Newtown physics teacher. He still teaches there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
that's relevant.
That's amazing.
He's still there.
But yeah, no, I really don't have many touchstones with this one, especially. I didn't remember it at all.
Like I said, it's definitely the least loved out of these three.
And my research bore that as well. That's what they were saying online, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what'd you think, Gooch? What do you think about this one? Is this your least favorite out of these three, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's kind of hard to
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I was reviewing them on Letterboxd, and my sister was like, "What are you giving Charlie Brown?" I'm like, 3.5, and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, Halloween's a 4, and Halloween is definitely better than the Thanksgiving one."
Right.
Just by
For
default.
sure.
I mean, I know they're fucking Charlie Brown holiday specials, but we gotta have some sort of system here.
There has to be some logic to it.
I like it. I think it's kind of funny. I mean, they're all kind of funny, but Peppermint Patty, I think is just an absolute character.
Right.
In this, one, we all know she's a lesbian.
Right.
But you know what's funny?
Clear as day.
I don't know where that
she's played by a boy.
Yeah. I think I saw that actually, because I was looking. It's entirely different voice cast,
right?
Except Linus.
Interesting. I didn't see that, but I know I did, because I did see something about the new Charlie.
Yeah, because I was like, they sound different, and I'm like, are they kids? Those are my.
They are children, I believe. Yeah. The guy who plays Charlie is 10 in this. Or the guy, the gentleman who plays Charlie is 10 years old in this.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm curious where the pop cultural idea, what are we calling this? The idea that Peppermint Patty and Marcy are lesbian, gay together, because that's a thing.
Okay.
I don't know.
That is part of the lore. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a joke in Robot Chicken.
Right.
I know Robot Chicken has made fun of that, and I'm like, it's just the thing. Even my mom.
It's
said
the RT
while we're watching it. Isn't it funny that Peppermint Patty has a crush on Charlie Brown, but we all know she's a lesbian.
She's clearly drawn as a lesbian.
Yeah, and she's she says something about something about being on the baseball field. It's she's clearly
straight women can like baseball too, Gooch. Okay.
But like, and Marcy's like calling her sir. Like what? Like who are these children?
It is very confusing, especially for the time. It's like, what are you trying to say?
Yeah, like what? Like honestly, like what were they trying to say?
Or were they just trying to be weird and goofy for the time being? Like, isn't it funny that she dresses and sounds like a dude? And she likes
Hello, sir.
And she likes Charlie, and because Charlie's the loser of the town for some reason. Everyone hates Charlie for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, and I didn't realize, again, like totally different cast of characters. We have Franklin,
Yeah.
and then Marcy and Peppermint Patty, who weren't in the Halloween one. At least I don't think Franklin is. Unless
Peppermint
he's
Patty definitely isn't. I don't believe Franklin is.
Franklin may be like a background character, but I know he's like an actual, like he is like one of the mainstay Charlie Brown
Crew,
kids.
yeah.
A peanut,
Part
if
of the
you will.
gang, yeah.
The
Peanut gang.
One of the peanuts,
Yeah.
if you will. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's kind of funny. I think this may be the first recorded Friendsgiving in the history of the world.
Oh,
because
like
that's what
the
this
first
is.
reference. No, that's very
And I was
true.
sitting there, like, I watched this with my mom and my sister,
That's
and
a
I was
good
like,
point.
this is a Friendsgiving.
That's true.
And I said to my mom, I'm like, I wonder why they didn't just call it a Friendsgiving. And then my mom was like, well, I don't think that term existed back in the 70s.
That's the thing. I'm sure
Like,
that happened, but yeah, I think that term probably didn't exist until
Yeah.
like the 2000s.
Yeah. But what did you think about a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving?
I thought it was fun. I watched it with my girlfriend. It kind of watched over the both of us a little, I will say. Yeah. I think the animation is a huge step up. First off,
like it's the same but better. The backgrounds are much more painterly and detailed.
I think honestly it's like night and day. Like it still holds up very well.
The first one's 67.
Yeah, one sec.
Are they all on the same?
Yeah,
doc?
they're all on the same doc here.
That's how we do it, man. That's how we do it here on the DNN.
That was 19. What one did you say?
67.
66.
66.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this one is 70.
3. Yeah,
Okay.
73.
Yeah,
so not like a. I mean, not.
That's
It's almost
5
10
years.
years, I guess. Yeah. What? So what? That's 90. Or that's 66 to 73. That's 9 years. Or no, that's Wow, we can't do math. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. What is 66 to 73? That's 4 plus 3. That's 7 years.
We're recording on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's after work. Fucking relax, Trio.
7 years. So not quite 10 years, but that's still a really good jump. That's a major jump.
I actually immediately noticed that. I like the background specifically. I was like, oh wow, like we're seeing like the neighborhood.
Everything looks like it's the
sky.
same type of drawing. Like, you know, I brought this up before, but when you watch like old Scooby-Doo cartoons, when they walk into a room, you can clearly see what they're going to interact with because it's like it pops. It looks different. Like you can obviously tell. Whereas this, you just don't run into that as much.
Tamir is your girlfriend.
Yes.
She's
never seen any of these, so she definitely.
But does she know who they are?
Yes, yeah, she's aware of them. She's like, oh, I would love.
She's aware of Chuck and the gang.
It's funny because I was gonna watch them. She's like, oh, I want to watch those with you. Let me watch them with you. I was like, oh, okay, sounds great. I didn't even ask her because I just didn't think there was any kind of touchstone on that for her. But yeah, no, she found them to be very cute. I don't think she was like blown away or like enamored insanely, but like, of course, for obvious reasons. But she definitely enjoyed them and had a good bit of fun with them while we were watching, especially the first one, the pumpkin, the pumpkin one, the Great Pumpkin. But we'll probably watch Christmas together as well. I didn't realize. I mean, we said it before. That's the first one, so it should be kind of interesting going back from this the later one to the original Christmas special. But I did. I enjoyed it a lot, Gooch. You know, Peppermint Patty's kind of a bitch. Just inviting herself over,
right?
And like
and
this entire crew,
this, like fucking
right.
Invites the posse. Calls it like it's so funny how like he's like, and he even says like, well, like Linus is like, well, like
why
just
didn't call her back?
Why don't you just say no? And it's like you can't even get a word out.
Yeah. He's like, well, did you hear what I was trying to do? Yeah. And then like she gets all upset. And then by the way, Snoopy, the dog, my dog, comes in and just sets it up for. He just gets together. Like, he just sets up the whole table and does whatever he can and holds the turkey for himself. But hey, respect. I'll do that.
Hey.
I know.
He did the work.
I agree.
He did the work. Charlie Brown was like,
no.
I'll make the plans. I guess my dog's
my dog put it together, actually.
And Woodstock does help a little bit.
Right.
I don't know. Is this the first time? I know this is like Woodstock was not in the in the Great Pumpkin, but
Right.
I don't know if this is his first appearance.
I didn't see anything
I was like,
on
if
that.
it's not in the
then
fun
there.
facts, probably
Yeah.
yeah. But Woodstock,
That's the bird.
little birdie.
Yeah. No, I thought. I mean, again, Snoopy's the man. I mean, Charlie Brown would be nowhere without him. That's all I wanted to say.
Facts.
But yeah,
facts.
and then
No
fucking
cap.
no cap at all.
Big facts.
And then fucking Peppermint Patty's like, "What's this shitty dinner that I invited myself to?" And then
Could you imagine like calling up your friend and inviting yourself over on Thanksgiving,
and then
Could you
getting
imagine
pissed
that?
off that they didn't have food for you.
My
Also, when you
dad's
did that.
out of town. I'm coming over. Like, what?
No, by the way, you don't even get that far. You don't get to ask them what's going on. You're just like, "Hey, can I come over for Thanksgiving?" And they're like, and then you're like, "Okay, see you then." And then you just hang up the phone. I think it's, a great message for children. It's like, okay, be courteous to people. Don't invite yourself over places. Know your know your boundaries and all that good stuff. Treat everyone as you would like to be treated.
Linus,
but-
of course, schooling us on the history of the Pilgrims,
Of course.
and the first Thanksgiving and all that. I think it's again through line with his character of him always being like, for some reason, extremely knowledgeable,
like the
about-
history nut.
Yeah. I mean, in Christmas, he's like very religious.
I see.
But I'm interested to get to that one because I also think it's the most like deep one because of Charlie Brown's like depression through the whole thing.
Interesting, yeah.
But Charlie Brown does mention holidays depress him in this. I think they go to the mailbox and they're talking about like, what'd you expect? Like a turkey card?
Right.
And then, it's funny. Even back in 73, they're mentioning the fact that Christmas comes around earlier every year. We're still saying the same shit.
I know.
But yeah, in that conversation, Charlie Brown mentions that holidays depress him.
Some things never change, Gooch.
Yeah.
It's all ubiquitous. It's fun. It's terrible. It's not terrible. It's just like I'm trying to think of anything else I can like dig deep on here. I just thought the overall special was fun. I don't think it was as like maybe engaging as the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah, for sure.
And just even like the whole story with, is it Linus in that who's trying to find the pumpkin and the Great
Yes.
Pumpkin?
Yeah.
Like that, I don't know why that was interesting to me, and just his silliness was like kind of really caught me. Whereas, I don't know, this was just him Charlie having these guys over for dinner and fucking it up, and then it's like, we all learned a lesson. And then that's it, But anything else for you, Gooch, specifically on the review side?
Did you notice their like hatchback car with like the seats in the trunk?
I did. Wah, 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 yeah.
The parents' voices.
Yeah. By the way, my mom would fucking kill me. Hey, Mom, my 6 friends are coming over for Thanksgiving. They're here and they got dropped off. Can they come to Aunt Mimi's for dinner?
Grandma.
Your grandma's? No. What do you mean? 6 more people to feed? We don't have enough food. Are you insane? Like, oh my God, she's killing me.
Yeah, so I remember as a kid, like seeing them get in the car at the end, and I'm like, their trunk has seats. Like, that's fucking awesome. And they're sitting in like a square.
Yeah.
And they're just like looking at each other. I'm
Like, Mom, can we get that car? Where's that car?
I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing left to say, but it's clear, I think we're both in the camp that this is the bottom of the 3.
Yeah. And I think, that's not like we're talking for me
We're
at
not-
least gradations. Like I'm not
Right,
like,
right.
like this
Piece of
isn't like
shit.
shitting. This isn't a low tier flick, okay? I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it very much reeks of, and reeks is maybe a bad term. I don't mean to sound bad, but of America and like that old timey TV atmosphere. So,
Right.
yeah.
And there is, again, all their holidays have holiday specials, but like, I'm trying to think of like, Thanksgiving really doesn't have like
doesn't get that type of
there are
love.
definitely
I'm sure.
there are definitely Thanksgiving episodes of shows for sure, but I would honestly say, I'm gonna like Google this as I'm talking about it, but I think like Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is probably like the #1 Thanksgiving holiday special.
Can I
like,
tell?
Like,
can I tell
what
you
else?
why? Can I tell you why?
Because there's none.
I feel like no. I'm saying why there aren't none. I think it's
'Cause
because
it's
people feel a little icky, especially abroad.
Well-
with like the Native American
day,
kind of
maybe
pilgrim stuff, like. Whereas now, I don't know. Yeah, for sure. Even still, you're right. I think that's a very good point. Even back in the day, I feel like you weren't seeing them that often. Every once in a while, I still, what comes to mind is the one South Park episode with Natalie Portman, and it's like a weird Thor parody, but it's like of Thanksgiving.
What?
You don't remember this?
No.
Remember Natalie? Like it's supposed to be Natalie Portman in it, and it's like
I feel
they're
like I
talking
remember
about the
her
real
being-
origins of Thanksgiving, and like he's basically Thor, but he's a pilgrim comes and like he has to like it's so fucking stupid. But that's like one of the only things that I can think.
They
of.
talk about football, by the way, which I think is funny. Again, 73 and football is a tradition in American.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I think
football
the
goes
Super
back to like
Bowl-
the '60s, I think.
The Super Bowl is like not that old at this point.
Well, how many? Isn't there like 50 or 60?
I think the Super Bowl started in the 50s.
Yeah, so that again, that's like I think by that time, it was pretty big. I don't think it's nearly as big as it was now. But
for
yeah.
sure, but I'm just saying, in the American zeitgeist
It
of
is
Thanksgiving,
interesting, yeah.
football is still associated with Thanksgiving back then.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting.
No, that's a good point. I never even thought about that. But I think we'll move on to the fun facts, Gooch.
Let's move on to the fun facts.
Alrighty. I'm one up. That's why I'm like that. Doesn't look right. Okay, so Vince Guaraldi. God, I probably-
Vince,
Please try again.
let me look at his name.
Vince
Guaraldi.
Guara.
No, stop.
Guara.
Guaradali? Line it. No.
Guaraldi.
Guaraldi, thank you.
Guaraldi.
I need to
Sorry.
look at it. Vince
Guaraldi.
Jesus Christ.
It's Tuesday,
Butchered.
folks. It's
a fellow
Vince-
Italian.
Vince Guaraldi sung the vocals for the song, quote, Little Birds, one of the rare moments he lent his voice to the music he created for the Peanut specials, the other being Joe Cool in You're Not Elected, Charlie Brown from 1972, which I would assume is the election special from Charlie Brown. I don't know.
That would be an apt thought.
I would hope so. Otherwise, that name makes no sense. Okay, so Lucy only appears at the beginning of this film when she's playing football with Charlie Brown. After that, she disappears completely for the rest of the entire movies.
Yeah,
I actually did notice that.
I did notice that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, geez, I did not even
we
think
get
about
the
that. I would
the
assume she's in
infamous
everything.
football prank, and she's fucking out of here.
Speaking of the infamous football prank, Charlie in the Thanksgiving special isn't the same Charlie from the Christmas special. For one thing, it was made 8 years later, I should say. But on top of that, the new voice, Todd Barbie, who was just 10 years old at the time, was not even able to say Charlie's most famous line, his famous, I don't even know how to do it, but like, whoa, like when he, yeah.
Dude, I noticed
So
it's
it's
the
not-
exact same
So I think
clip.
they just used the
old
old one.
one.
He was like, "Yeah,
I noticed
He was
that.
like, "I just couldn't get what they were looking for." So
yeah,
they just,
yeah.
he didn't know if they like. He said in the interview that he didn't know if they just re-recorded it with an older person or just reused
Wait,
something.
you watched
so,
an interview with this kid?
no, it was like it was a written interview. Like it was on the Wikipedia or something.
Yeah,
So I'm sure it was true. So Barbie also said that while they got paid a quote significant amount of money up front, it sadly came with the caveat that the kids gave up on any type of residuals or royalties for this.
Oh my god!
So yeah, they get
got
nothing.
Fucked.
And I mean
They
that was
got
pretty
fucked,
normal,
dude.
especially for back in that time.
I bet.
But
yeah,
I mean, the syndication rights alone on that, like the residuals would be insane.
Oh my god!
And I did find a fun fact. It wasn't a fun fact. It was like talking about how the rights have kind of gone down the chain. I'm going to save that for the last one where we can talk about how Apple has kind of ended up with them.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So
that's where
we'll
you're
talk
watching
about
them
that.
again.
Yeah.
Watching them on DVD like a
Right.
real guy or something.
So Charles Schultz, the creator of the Peanuts, was initially reluctant about TV adaptations. However, executive producer Lee Mendelsohn convinced him to start with A Charlie Brown Christmas, and Schultz then insisted that Bill Melendez would serve as director due to his previous works on Peanut animations. Melendez was like a significant part in basically why these became what they were, which is very interesting. Melendez unfortunately passed away in 2008 and directed over 70 Peanut specials, which I thought is pretty wild.
You know, I until we did this, I couldn't have told you who directed them.
I couldn't either.
But the fact that you created so many iconic specials, not just shows, like specials,
right.
probably says something to the ability there.
I completely agree.
I like, again, not a household name by any means. Like, I think Vince
But I mean,
Guaraldi,
70 specials? That's wild.
yeah, that's a lot.
That's
a lot
yeah.
of TV.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. But that's it, Gooch. That's all the fun facts we have for today. This was a really fun one. I'm liking the series a lot so far, I got to say. This was a good pick by me.
Christmas, I think, is going to be the high point, which is good.
100%.
Because, I think that Christmas special, that Charlie Brown Christmas special is truly like top tier shit.
That's definitely the one I remember. Excuse me, I remember the most too, for sure.
Just a little fun way to end it. I'm thinking about like my own Thanksgivings. We don't have like not any weird Thanksgiving traditions. But
sure.
Does the Trio family have any Thanksgiving traditions?
I think probably in the same way of the Ragucci's. A lot of friends and family around, big party. Do you guys do like a bigger Thanksgiving, or is that smaller for you?
Yeah. And it's not, I'll tell you this, since I'm Italian, you are too. But I don't know how your mom and dad cook. I won't speak for it. But it's like a fucking
show.
4-course
So
meal.
I will say,
it's like lasagna, meatballs, then the turkey comes. It's like 3 things before that.
I should say I have a caveat, because now that I think about it, really Thanksgiving, as the later years have gone on,
right,
it's not as big, because all my brothers
have kids.
They're all married and they have kids, and there's other sides of the family, so it's not as packed as it used to be. But I mean, back in the day, we would always host it, and we would have it at my dining room and on Mayland, and it would be the whole family would be there.
Yeah.
So, but now it's like this year, it'll be my mom, my dad, and I, and my girlfriend, of course, and then my aunt and uncle. Because Christmas is kind of more the big, with all the trios are together.
We've talked about this,
Yeah.
and it's funny, I mean, obviously you just stated this, you can relate, but like, my parents are divorced, and I'm not even talking about that changing my holidays. Getting older and watching your holidays change as your cousins get married and they have families, and your whole holiday changes.
Absolutely.
Like, honestly, it was like a big, like, weird.
Times are a changing moment. You're like, oh, fuck.
My mom has a big family, and a lot of my cousins, again, they start families, so they're having their own Thanksgiving, because our Thanksgivings were already too big to begin with.
Right. So you can't add a whole other family onto that.
Right. You just yeah. So
Doesn't work.
That's especially with Thanksgiving and every holiday.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just, that's been like one thing I've noted like within the last like 5 years. And I've been like, this kind of sucks.
I know. It's like, and I think, it gets less sucky when you get your own family, of course, and you have your own
priorities.
Priorities and stuff, and folks to celebrate with. So it's weird, Gooch. We are getting to like that age where like we are getting into a really different phase of our lives, not to get too existential.
Sure.
Everyone's getting married.
I have friends
People
with
are having
kids.
children. Yeah,
right.
like it's.
I'm only a year older than you, but
no, it's true.
You're following the dominoes falling with that for you.
Absolutely.
For you as well.
I mean, my friends just had a child. A bunch of my friends just got married. I mean, times are changing. And
our
it's
friends
scary.
have babies. It's not like they have toddlers yet, but like
Right,
they will
right.
in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, dude. Before we know it. I mean, dude, I have fucking 7. My niece was born the other day. I forgot to mention.
Which brother?
Tom, little Cece was born, a little girl.
And he has 3 kids.
He has 2. That's his second.
2.
So Jay, I know it's tough.
Can't
I mean,
keep
we already
Trio's siblings straight.
I have 2.
I know who they are,
3,
but like when it comes and like it's like, wait, how many kids?
4. So I have 7.
Jay has 2.
Jay has 2. Tom has 2. Mike has 3.
Mike has 3. Okay.
Right.
There
So that's what's throwing you off. Yeah. And he has all the old. I mean, aside from Kelly.
Dude, how do you, dude? Your uncle like 7 to 8 times.
That's what. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Trio never talks about that. I mean,
it's just like this. Yeah.
I got LG's partying or whatever.
Yeah.
Is LG or J?
LJ.
J.
I kind of like it.
I have an LG in my family actually.
There's an LG on that table too. No, I'm kidding. That's not LG. I was joking.
No, it's a
TV.
Samsung.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say I'm poor or something?
No. Is LG a poor one? I didn't realize.
No.
No.
Well, I have the Samsung. So.
Right. But LJ. And then dude, there's two, and there's probably gonna be more coming. And then I'm gonna probably have. I'm planning on having children at some point. So,
deep.
Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. Let's get deep. That's what we're here for on a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
And usually we don't stream our rewind reviews, but if you're watching live on twitch.tv, twitch.tv/Delco Network, we greatly appreciate it. You can find this podcast where podcasts are found, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it, we're on it, and as well on YouTube at youtube.com/Delco Nerd Network. You can follow us on social media anywhere with an outside at Delco Nerds, and of course Facebook, Threads, even that has an ad. So
yeah, that's true.
That's where to follow us for the social medias. And you can find all this information at www.delconernetwork.com, where you can also join our Discord and of course join the fun there. Maybe we can share your Thanksgiving dinner plates in the IRL channel.
A comment, subscribe, of course, always goes a long way.
Of course,
Yeah.
if you've enjoyed this podcast, please rate us a good like. Leave a little blurb review. You can do that on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, and of course,
Even do it
on
in the
YouTube.
comments. Tell us how you feel about us in the comments.
Yeah,
We'd
give us
love
like
to
a
hear it,
fucking
yeah.
hard review us harder than we reviewed a Charlie Brown.
Make us cry.
Thanksgiving. Yeah,
Come
like,
on, let's
like
go.
really
Yeah.
analyze it and like
Well,
just.
I mean, don't get too deep. Don't start going after my insecurities. But do it. Love it.
For Treo, I've been Gooch. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.